It's time to get so fearless. Hello and welcome. I'm Akram Taghavi-Burris, and you're watching Akram's Ideas of bringing creative and crazy ideas to life. Speaking of crazy, you may notice that I'm sounding a little crazier than usual, and that is because I have been outfitted with a new set of braces. You may have heard in some of my previous videos that I'm actually doing some Team J repair on my teeth. So I am now in a set of new braces, and it's given me a little bit of a lisp, but I hope it won't be too annoying for you guys. I know for me it's really annoying, but if you can just bear with me the next few months, hopefully it all goes well and I can get these removed as soon as possible. But I wanted to come on here today and tell you about an all-new inspiring challenge that we have going on in the sewing community. A while back, me and Megan from Megan Handmade on Instagram, and who also has a YouTube sewing channel, were talking on Facebook, and we were talking about how I'd mentioned in my sewing plans video back in early February that there were some sewing projects that I wanted to do this year, but I was just kind of afraid to do them. And it was more just, I want to do them, I just hadn't had the courage to get to them yet. And she was talking about how she had some projects that were in a similar situation, stuff that we wanted to do, but we just had fears to actually getting it done. So through these conversations, we decided to host the Sew Fearless challenge for the month of March. The idea behind this challenge is fairly simple. It's to get you to start sewing the projects that you have been wanting to sew, but fear has kept you from sewing these projects. These may be more complex projects. I know in my case, it's just projects that have a lot of parts or are a little bit more time consuming, and so I have a fear of like getting started with them. And we've come up with the Sew Fearless challenge. So several other sewing vloggers have decided to join up with us and give you inspiration throughout the month of March to face your fears and be so fearless. So throughout the month, we're going to share videos of the projects that we have overcome our fears to sew up this month. So before I talk about everybody who's participating and what all we have planned, let me start by sharing with you the project that I have planned. Now, the project that I plan to overcome my fears and be so fearless with is a blazer. I've been wanting to make a blazer for a while. I actually made one a few years ago. It doesn't fit, it's too big, and I wanted to revisit the idea of making a blazer. The problem is that I had fears, obviously getting the fit right, but blazers take a lot of time. There are typically a lot of pieces that go into them, and I just had fears that I didn't really have the time to make a blazer. But as it so happens, on Valentine's weekend, my hubby took me antiquing, and I came back with a huge pattern haul, which will be coming to you in a future episode. But what I ended up finding during this pattern haul was McCall's 3560. So this is a stitch and save pattern from 1988, and it is a blazer suit and skirt here. And I really was drawn to this pattern because the suit jacket is fairly simple. There's a front piece, there's a back piece, obviously sleeves and collar, but there are no princess seams. And a lot of the blazer patterns that I have princess seams, which make it even more pieces and fitting to do on the jacket. Plus, most of the jackets that I have are lined jackets. So this one's an unlined jacket with fairly simple boxy lines. Obviously, it's one of those big 80s jackets. And this pattern is actually a size 10 to 14. I am not a size 14, but the pattern on the back here says the size 14 is for a 36-inch bust, which I am not. But if you look at the finished measurements, the jacket has a 46-inch bust for the finished measurements, which means this has 10 inches of ease in it. It is a way oversized jacket. And I don't want it necessarily to be oversized. I want this simple look, but I want it a little bit more fitted than that. So I think potentially I could even go down to a size 12 that has a 43-inch bust, which would probably be really perfect because that would give me 3 inches of ease, so the blazer still has room to go over heavier tops or not. So I plan to do a muslin fit regardless, but again, since the jacket is pretty straightforward and doesn't seem to have any tricky parts, it does have a shoulder yoke, but again, it doesn't have those princess seams, and it's a boxier style. I think I'm going to be able to get to that project, and I think just making this will get me over that hump of the fear of making blazers, and hopefully I can continue making more. With that said, the fabric that I have chosen for this project.
To see more episodes like this, be sure to click the like button, subscribe to Akram's Ideas, and hit the bell icon to get notified of new episodes.
Is this beautiful linen that I've had in my stash for a while. So it has all these beautiful colors on it, and if you look carefully, they're kind of random looking, but they're actually roses. And I feel like the fabric has a little bit of an 80s vibe to it, which is perfect for a 1980s pattern. You're probably also thinking, well, this is a really weird fabric choice, but I wanted a blazer that was kind of wacky and out there. I do a lot of presentations at high schools, and I want to look professional, like in a suit, but teaching video game design, I want to like come across a little bit different and a little bit quirky, and I think a blazer in some nice bright colors like this would do just the trick. So that is the project that I have planned for the Sew Fearless Challenge. Like I said, there are several other vloggers who are going to be joining in with us, including my co-host, Megan Sullivan, who will also be sharing a bunch of details on her channel. As far as the schedule goes for all the sewing vloggers who will be sharing their Sew Fearless mix this month, I'm just going to kind of go through the list here. Monday, March 9th, we have Deborah from Slap Happy Sewing. Saturday, March 14th is my co-host, Megan, who will be sharing her make. On March 15th, we have Alex from Alex Judy Sews. On March 16th, we have Maeve Fanningg. On March 22nd, we have Jayne from Loopy Mabel's Closet. On March 27th, we have Laura from the Specky seamstress. On March 28th, I'll be revealing my blazer to you guys. And rounding it up on March 30th will be Rebecca from Notes from the Sewing Room. And so again, we're all kind of trying to inspire you guys to sew those projects that you have kind of had reservations to sewing, and maybe there was some sort of fear keeping you from making those projects. So we want you to be so fearless. And we want to encourage you to share those makes using the hashtag sewfearless on Instagram. Now, we're going to be doing this all through the month of March, obviously. You don't necessarily have to finish these projects in the month of March. We just want you to be so fearless and overcome those fears and get these projects started. And hopefully it'll give you the courage to start other projects and continue on your sewing journey. So again, we'd love to see your makes. Use the hashtag sewfearless on Instagram. Follow all the sewing vloggers on the challenge tour. And I'd love to hear in the comments below if you will be participating in the Sew Fearless challenge. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Akram's Ideas, and thanks for watching.
Sewing challenge. Let me do that over. This whole challenge was bleh. In this episode, but hopefully we can. Reason I hadn't made one. Okay, let me do this again.